What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Base Damage. Hope you are all doing well. Today we're going to be finally taking a look at the regionals that happened in Madrid, Spain, and Vancouver, Canada over last weekend. It took a little bit for all of the information to get posted. I'm assuming just trying to get in touch with the people to get their decks and whatnot. Took a little bit. But we finally have several things up here. We're missing a little bit under the Vancouver side, but I feel this is more than enough to still be able to work with, being able to do some kind of tournament reports. So I did want to point out a couple things, obviously, before we get into it. I'm recording this literally the day before Santiago, Chile, so sorry, Chile, you'll get a video next week. But I did want to point out, as usual, trying to keep up with what was allowed and what was not. So we're going to first go to Madrid, Spain. And this is kind of the big one. I'll be real, Vancouver, Canada didn't really have any restrictions other than Marvel. I will show that in a second just for sake of, showing. But we did have a couple things. Apparently, they didn't like the fact that Adventure Time won previous regionals. I joke, I know it's for different reasons, but Madrid, Spain, you could not use Adventure Time, Marvel, obviously, and you couldn't use quintessential quintuplets that begin with 83 or 90. Just to show, it says W101 cards are allowed. That is the ones from the movie set. 101, right there. So the movie set of quints was allowed, but the first two boosters were not allowed. Just wanted to point that out. And then, like I said, to show Vancouver, obviously, so Vancouver, Canada, only thing that wasn't allowed was Marvel. That's it. So coming up for Santiago, Chile, since I got it right here. Oh, really? Okay, so Adventure Time, Marvel, and Danmachi is not allowed for the upcoming one for Santiago, Chile. So interesting. But I did want to point out those two things very quickly. Before we go ahead and jump into talking about Madrid and Canada, I have two other tabs up here to prove a point in a second here, and I may be throwing shade this particular episode. Not with Madrid. Honestly, I'm okay with Madrid. They kind of they have a fairly decent spread of stuff, to be completely honest, minus the double Elizabeth Hendrickson and double Chloe Marin. You still have Shauna. You still have Bochi, Ayakashi, and Slime is, strangely enough, for once, all the way down to 8th place. We actually didn't get a Slime player, winning, but still, really interesting spread. So I already know I've shown off the Elizabeth Hendrickson before. Congrats to the person who got first place. I'm not going to show the deck just because I've shown Elizabeth Hendrickson before. I will double check later, but I do not think there was any super crazy tech. The Chloe Marin, I probably know the exact setup. Bochi, we've shown before. Ayakashi, I don't think we've shown the 8 pants build before, so I will show that off. While my internet is actually trying to pull these up. They had 82 players in Madrid, so congrats to everyone who went and whatnot. That's really awesome showing. For some reason, it is not wanting to bring up Shauna. I will try to do so once more, because my internet just hates me some days. There we go. Okay, it actually is pulling up now. We're going to quickly show the Ayakashi deck for the 8 pants. I don't think I've shown this yet, but it is based off of mainly this level 3 and this level 1. The level 3 having the combo. On attack, if Dreamtime is in your climax area and you have another Omiko City character, choose one of the following effects and perform it. Either burn your opponent for 1 or put the top card of your clock into your waiting room. So from what I understand, it just tries to early play these with the level 2 and just tries to heal down as much as possible, praying that they don't get knocked to another level. And the level 1 is going to be when Rampant Shamelessness is placed in your climax area. If this is in your center stage, search your deck for an Omiko City character and add it to hand. Just on play of the climax search, which I'm certain still occurs, but it doesn't, that one doesn't happen as much on just a straight 1-0. You'll typically see this on level 2s and whatnot. I think of Haguro from Kantai. It's just the first one that comes to mind. I know there's one since Kantai that have definitely done this effect, but I feel like I usually see this at level 2 and not 1. I'm certain there are others that do it, but it just doesn't feel like it happens that often. I'm going to go away from that because copyright. But the Shauna deck was this, as it's still pulling up. It said it was Choice Door. So the door is, okay, obviously with the one from Dengeki Bunko. For those who don't know, this is on attack if blue flame is in your climax area, and the level of your cards is 6 or higher. And you have to have 2 or more other characters. Discard 2, burn 4. If this damage was cancelled, choose up to X cards in your opponent's waiting room, return them to their deck. Your opponent shuffles their deck. X is equal to the number of other Dengeki Bunko or flame characters you have. So you could, if the 4 gets cancelled, you can make them send back up to 4, and then I say up to because depending on how many characters you have on the field, but you can send back 4, and then hopefully that decompresses them enough for her damage to stick. And the choice build is Shauna in a swimsuit off of the level 0. I got to find out what this card does very well at Duluth. At the beginning of your encore step, if unable to help her own Felix is in your climax area and you have 2 or more other flame characters, look at up to 4 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 1 flame character amongst them, reveal it to your opponent, put it in your hand, put the rest into waiting room. And obviously, Yuji Torch is definitely a major contributor to this deck doing incredibly well. But apparently it didn't matter because it still lost to Elizabeth Hendrickson. But once again, congrats to everyone who participated in Madrid. If you just so happen to be someone up here who won or topped, or even if you just went to Madrid, feel free to comment down below. Definitely want to hear some thoughts on some stuff. So, Vancouver. We finally did it. I say we, but I mean y'all. Y'all finally did it. Congratulations to Overlord, to my understanding, for finally winning a regionals legally. This is where I throw shade. People hyped up Overlord so much, and this is the first time that it's actually won that it was allowed to win. There was a little bit of a debacle back in 2023. Costa Rica, if I remember where it is, excuse me. Yeah, Costa Rica. It got first place here, it says on Weiss Tea Time, but this was amended later due to this was a regionals in which that particular set, which had the broken Eins and everything, was not allowed to be played, but the judges didn't catch it until afterwards. So this does not count. This doesn't count as a win. They bumped up the Data Live player to be the one who actually won and was able to go to Worlds. So that is a really unfortunate thing, obviously, but once again, Bushi at least owned up to their mistake and said, hey, sorry, we have to retract your thing, but they didn't change it up here on Weiss Tea Time, probably because it was just too much of a hassle, whatever, to each their own. But no, so you can't actually go by this. So this is the actual first time that Overlord, the door bar combo, has actually topped. And I'm not counting teams. I'm sorry, you can't count teams for this past Springfest. There were only 2 teams that topped with Overlord, one in Duluth and one in Belgium. And that is it. But once again, that means they still could have gotten carried with Caligura and Taf Azula when this had Sokka not banned, when this had Gura not limited to 2. The same thing for this. You had Himeno Aki and Elizabeth Hendrickson. Oh, look, the thing that just won Madrid, I'm just saying, it has... I'm going to stop throwing shade after this. It has not had the tops. It has not had the showings to warrant the hype that it got. And I'm certain someone's going to be like, F you, whatever. I'm just saying, congrats to the person who actually won. I'm very happy that you were able to win it and everything. Do I see any other Overlords in the top here? No, it's also the only one in top 16. We don't know what these other 3 question marks are down here. Maybe there was another one. Maybe there was a second or third one. If we go back a little bit, there were 3 Overlord decks that topped in Singapore. So, I mean, it's been there. It has the representation, but it finally won, like, an actual tournament. It has been out for so long, but I heard people hype it up so much when it was going to drop, like, oh, this is the thing to watch out for. You have to build all of your decks around this deck. No, you don't. You obviously have to be mindful of it and know the matchup, but, Anyway, congrats to the door bar person, and just try to show some respect. I am going to pull up the decks. Second place, Nino. We as much as I love quintuplets, we know the eight standby Nino builds. Ozki Choco, third place with Hololive, really awesome. Standby Muron making a comeback. We haven't seen a standby Muron version in a hot minute here. For Slime, Chloe Marin. 8 Pants Rimuru Muron is what we've mostly seen. We have an 8 standby Slime here. I'm going to check that out in a second here. Macross Delta. We finally have a Macross Delta up here with Venus Link. SAO with a Yuki, I'm assuming Zekin Yuki, and the Silica build. I think the Silica build is the anniversary one. We are going to pull that up. Ayakashi Pants Door, Chainsaw Man, Himeno, Makima Aki, trying to probably include the level 3 Makima, or it might be the level 1. Actually, no, that warrants a taking a look, to be completely and totally fair. Ruby with a choice standby, really awesome there. And all the way down to 15th, we have another Power, Makima, and Chainsaw Man. I will pull that up in a second, but we're going to look through everything else first. So this was the 8 standby. So this uses... Oh, no. Yeah, this was the 8 standby. Oh, okay, so it's utilizing the Benimaru level 2 right here. The Black Flame that illuminates Darkness Climax is standby. And it uses the level 1 standby Rimuru combo. Okay, interesting. They're probably going ahead and building this, which it has, like, the Shuna, like, hexproof shenanigans. So that makes me question if this is the next thing that's going to, like, kind of pop off. Is the Benimaru combos and everything, because he gets really big. It says if all of your characters are Demon Continent, this gets plus 4,500 power, and it gets Character Encore. So even if your opponent does get over it, I mean, it's going to be sitting at 10k. Even if your opponent does get over it, just a simple Character Encore, offensively and defensively 10k, then make it a 12k with Hexproof from the Shuna and the Muron back row setup. This might be the next thing that people try to mess with. I could see it happening. I actually really like this combo and everything. When you play the standby, if this is in your center stage, and your level has a yellow and a red card, extremely easy to pull off, just in general, by level 2. Choose one of the following effects and perform it. Either stand one of your other characters, which is really cool. You're already level 2. Cool. Standby. Summon one of the level 3s up here that is really strong. And then stand it, so you can still attack with it the same turn. Or you may put the top card of your stock into the waiting room if you do deal 1 damage to your opponent. So a little bit of burn, but whatever. And then obviously the Rimuru combo we've seen before. It lets you trigger check twice. And in an 8 standby deck, trigger checking twice is really, really major. You are going to be able to pop off, like, a lot. Which I'm surprised there aren't other cards. Like, there's no 1/1s that you typically see in a standby deck. But you are obviously just trying to get the Benimarus out as quickly as possible and trying to get any of these. Because this one does something. It was, when the battle opponent becomes reversed, pay 2, burn 1. So it's just a bunch of burn 1s. And then obviously the variable damage from Benimaru. So, hey, that's awesome. Glad to see that top. The Macross Delta one. This is one of the craziest things, especially once the stuff loads up down here. For anyone who's not familiar with this, me and Soup from the No Soup for You from the Discord did an entire breakdown on this deck. Please go check out that video because, oh my goodness, this deck is nuts. You're not seeing this wrong. There are 6 different climaxes in this deck because of a mechanic involving this event that makes all of these events basically share the same names for whichever ones are in the waiting room, minus the +2 soul, but I don't see the +2 soul up here. So this is a very, very crazy fun deck. I actually very much like it. I would be very tempted to try to run this if it wasn't for the fact that it's still like balls expensive. So I'm just gonna have to deal with testing it out on the simulator for now. But yeah, no, this is a very, very strong deck, and I'm certain we're just going to see more of this as time goes on. So this was the SAO deck. So yeah, using Zekin Yuki, very understandable. Oh no, Zekin. Oh, this is so cool. So they're rocking Zekin Yuki because it all works with Mother's Rosario, And there's multiple versions of Mother's Rosario. They're obviously using obviously the gold bar version, but this the alternate art of this looks so freaking good. And this is like the regular one. But it also runs the level 1 from the anniversary set. That specifically like top checks up to 5 to add an anniversary character to hand, and it works with inherited sword skill. Do they run that? No, I do not see that event in here. Lots of crazy tech in here. Honestly, I'm seeing a very interesting spread of cards here. Obviously they got their money counter and everything, and Demonic Sword Graham is one of the like really good staple cards to be able to pull off some crazy stuff. So they take in 1 copy of this particular Kirito and Asuna because it also combos with Mother's Rosario, but the Silica does not combo with it. It combos with Hill of Memories. When this attacks, if Hill of Memories is in your comics area, you have 4 or more other anniversary characters, so you have to have a full field of anniversary. You may discard 2, deal 2 damage to your opponent, then choose up to 2 cards from your opponent's waiting room, shuffle them back into their deck. Just the shuffle back, kind of like whatever one I was literally just talking about. Oh my goodness. Oh, the Ayakashi, that's what it was. The shuffle back like the Ayakashi does. I think it was Ayakashi. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. But yeah, no, so really cool there. I'm glad to see SAO is still being used despite the Alice hits and everything. Just really cool. Okay, so it was utilizing the level 3 Makima, not the level 1. I think the level 1 only does some like extra stock production shenanigans. But for those who don't know, obviously this Aki is limited to 2 copies per deck. And there's a Himeno combo. It's this particular Himeno and another level 0 you can't run together. It's a pick 1 of 2. But you can still run, obviously, this. You just can't run the other. It's like another level 0 that works with getting the Easy Revenge. Easier to hand, the Easy Revenge event to hand. Ugh. Oh yeah, that's very fair. You tech in 1 copy of this because the Makima on play could just salvage it back from waiting room. And then this lets you like get rid of your opponent's characters. Just gets over stuff, gets rid of annoying cards on the field. And to be fair, this is honestly very strong against like the slime decks because you can just pop the Shuna and just then get over stuff. I mean, your opponent has to waste resources to bring it back. That's whatever. Or even like the Yuji Torch from Shana. It's like understandable. So really cool teching in that. And this is the Overlord deck. So here we go. We're going to give credit where credit is due. And I think this is the SR. So also SPs. So hell, you get stuff completely and totally blinged out. Oh wow, he's even got the level 1. Missing 1 of the SP for the level 1. Oh, I understand your pain, my dude. But yeah, okay, so it obviously focuses around this particular level 3 Ainz and this one in the back row, giving some crazy effects to the level 3 Ainz, and you just are able to nuke your opponent's board. You're able to do a lot of stuff. Very glad to see that it has finally won something. And yeah, that is going to be it. Like I said, just kind of giving it a once over. The Ainz is green, so it works with the gold bar, and the Shaltir, I couldn't think of her name, is the salvage version of section of this. This face, though, I love this. It's just, this is like, you could take Darkness from Konosuba and just kind of interchange this. We need an artist to get on that post-haste. I could just see that, just like, you're gonna what? Just that, like, I can see Darkness's face in that, and it's so good. Also, you're not seeing this wrong. This particular event does say that you can run multiple copies of it. You can put up to 5 cards with the same card name as this into your deck. So this is not an error on deck log. This is actually, like, you can run 5 copies instead of 4. So, and you have to do it because it works with this level 3. So that is going to be it. Big shout outs to everybody who won, who played. And in Vancouver, we had 153 players. That is fucking phenomenal. Like, that is really, really cool. Very glad to see that big of a turnout. Definitely, we're seeing a very interesting spread here. Like I said, we haven't really seen SAO do but so much. Chainsaw Man's still in the running, like, despite the hits. I mentioned this on a previous video. I think it was in one of the, like, the deck recap or the round recap. With me, Joe, and Moroku, where I mentioned I played against a Chainsaw Man player, and he said even with the hits, the deck is still incredibly consistent. So it just shows that, like, despite the hits, it's still got staying power and is still clearly topping multiple times. And if we do scroll up, we will see more. There's a Chainsaw Man here, but I'm assuming it's going to be the Aki. There were other iterations. Here, Chainsaw Man got second place here in Mexico City. So, I mean, just as an example, I could keep scrolling up, but we're not going to worry about it. So, yeah, shout outs to the people in Spain who played, as well as, I don't know if he is still playing. I remember one of the world champions who won with like quintuplets one year. There's a guy named William. He is really cool. I don't know if he participated in this, but hey, dude, if you did, I hope everything went well. Hey, maybe he was the one rocking Overlord. I don't know. Or maybe he was the one here with Nino, because I think it was, it was quintuplets Nino that he won Worlds with. Actually, I think I can tell. I think I can tell if I look at this. Because I know one particular setup that he said he preferred doing, if my internet will load stuff. But there was a particular, like, early play level 3 that he said he preferred to run as opposed to what people typically ran. So if my internet will behave, we do not see that level 3 in here. It was a Miku level 3. It was an early play Miku. He said he preferred to play. But I don't see it in here. Maybe he just couldn't fit it in because there's obviously a lot more cards in here than what people used to see. I don't know. Anyway, shout outs. El Nino goes to Japan. I love that. But yeah, like I said, we have Hololive up here. We have plenty of slime. Ruby is still topping. I'm so glad Ruby is still in the running with the new upgrades that it got to, like the standby deck and everything. Just really cool. But yeah, that is going to be it. Kudos once again to 7 Deadly Sins and Overlord. But yeah, that is going to be it for us today. If you participated in any of these, feel free to comment down below. Tell us what you were running, whether you topped or not. Feel free to comment, and definitely, like, make yourselves known. It's really cool. I love seeing all the new people who've commented like, yo, I was the one who won such and such regionals. I love to see that stuff. It's really cool. But that is going to be it. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want. If not, hey, it's cool. Thanks for stopping by to check out the video. Feel free to join the Discord as well. We have a link to the Discord in the description, and we will see y'all on the flip side. Stay based.